So 1:43 on the clock here and ticking. Now 1:41 on the clock is a missed shot for Algona. Coming out the other way, trying to lay it up, and scoring is J.C. Anderson. 51-9 right now is the Estherville Lincoln Central lead. They have exceeded their scoring average from last season already here in tonight's game as we approach the end of the third quarter. 51-9, McLaughlin, a bounce pass inside to Perry, catches on the block, goes up with it, and misses long. Getting the rebound, heading the other way is Estherville Lincoln Central, and we've got the ball going out of bounds and back to Algona. Really, even the reserves here for ELC play at just a blistering pace. And we're now under 1 minute to go in quarter number 3. 57 seconds, 51-9 is the score. Efferington starts to the left, bounces to Van Otterloo, attacks across the lane, passes at right wing Solbach. Takes one jab step, then passes it to the left to a wide open Efferington, who will shoot the three and will drain the three. 51-12, Algona's in double digits as Efferington's at 5 points. Nick Dawes, who's back in the game, drives the baseline, kicks it out near corner to Anderson, rotates around the perimeter to Yeager, and she'll rattle out a three-pointer, no good. Efferington will rebound for Algona. 28 seconds now. Dribbling casually into the front court, passing it left to McLaughlin. McLaughlin gives the handoff to Efferington, who curled around. Now McLaughlin at the foul line, in the lane. Uses her pivot foot well, but can't finish there on the layup. Long outlet pass up the court to J.C. Anderson. Lays it up and scores it. 53-12 right now is the lead. There's 4 points for Anderson. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. McLaughlin sidesteps into a three-pointer, spins it up, no good. And that is the end of the quarter. 53-12 as we go to the fourth. We'll take a timeout and be back in 60 seconds right here on Home Country Radio. It's the fourth quarter, and it's 53-12 right now. Estherville Lincoln Central over Algona. We have a running clock here, with the margin being what it is. And we'll see if the Bulldogs are able to at least get a few points on the board here in quarter number 4. 53-12, Estherville Lincoln Central with the basketball. In the far corner, it's Rushy. Rushy, another freshman getting playing action here tonight, gives it to Stokes. Stokes to the right of the lane, layup no. And the rebound will go to Rushy. Offensive boards have been a problem for Algona as they've allowed quite a few of those here tonight. Across the lane, it's Gabby Paul, floats one up there, and it's knocked away and taken by Ava Henry for Algona. 7:07 on the clock. Henry passed towards the left on the wing to Efferington, goes back to the center to Hilbert, comes near side Solbach. Solbach works into the lane, looks towards the basket, floats one up, and it rolls off the rim, no good. 6:54 on the clock, 53-12. Crossing the timeline, it's Stokes. Stokes falling down, and she traveled. Stokes saw the defense there converging in the lane. She tried to take a hard stop that time, but couldn't keep her feet. And that'll be a turnover here for Estherville Lincoln Central. Well, in game number 1, Estherville Lincoln Central had a 34-12 turnover edge. It'll be interesting to see the official stats here tonight. I would venture to say it's relatively similar in this game as far as the Estherville Lincoln Central turnover edge goes. Solbach near the logo, heading towards her left. She's getting bothered, and looks like we're going to get a possible 5-second violation here against Algona. So that'll be a turnover with 6:07 and ticking on the clock. Estherville Lincoln Central basketball. Well, make sure you stick around. We've got game number 2 coming up following this one. It'll be the opening game for Algona boys basketball, as launching a three-pointer and coming up a little bit short is Gabby Paul. It's tipped towards the baseline, and Hilbert collects it for Algona before it can go out of play. Solbach lob towards the lane. Carroll tries to turn 180 and catch it, but it will go off her fingertips and out of bounds for another Algona turnover. The passing game will be something to work on here for the Bulldogs this week in practice as they get ready for the game against Clear Lake coming up on Friday, as well as the game against Charles City over the weekend. 5:22 and ticking. Gabby Paul hands the basketball off to Abby Sander, who we're seeing for the first time here tonight. Now it's the freshman Stokes on the left wing, sidestepping, working across the foul line, heading right of the lane. Hard layup up the glass, and that one's no good. Rebound for Algona. Effrington crosses midcourt. Effrington bounces it to the far corner to Henry. Henry heads towards the baseline. The defense tries to shield her off. She fights up a shot anyways, and that one will be no good. It rolls towards the sideline and heads out of bounds near the corner by the Algona bench. And with 4:47 on the clock, ELC gets the basketball back here. Perry back into the game for Algona. McLaughlin in as well for the Bulldogs. Stokes, the freshman to 14 points, heads past Henry, heads to the basket, leaves the layup short though on the near side. Algona rebounds. Then in the backcourt fighting, and it's a turnover as Tyndall takes it away. Lifts up a three-pointer from the near corner, and that one's no good. That was a big heat check right there as McLaughlin comes down with the rebound. McLaughlin attacks for Algona, jump stops on the block, puts it up, and she got fouled on the play. Nice job there for Lauren McLaughlin, and I think part of that too was avoiding an offensive foul, as that may have been what the call would have been had she just crashed in there and not stopped her momentum, but used a good jump stop there on the block on the far side of the court. Drew the foul, and the freshman here will take a couple free throw attempts. And she will swish the first one. Price will come in for Algona. She'll replace Effrington. And Estherville Lincoln Central checks out essentially all their starters here for what you would figure would be the last time here tonight, with 4:14 on the clock and a 53-13 lead. McLaughlin has 4 tonight, looking for number 5. As her foul shots, nothing but net. 53-14. And now we'll see another substitution as well for Algona. Paige Schmidt, a freshman. Seeing some action here as Algona currently does have 3 freshmen on the court, as well as a sophomore Price and the junior Perry. And taking it away, Schmidt, she forces a turnover here, coming right off the bench. 3:59 on the clock, up to McLaughlin, saves it going out of bounds, trying to get it to Price, but it got peeled away that time and taken by Estherville Lincoln Central. Coming the other way, it's Rushy, works around the perimeter. Jaeger goes towards the inside, lays it up, and they'll give her the continuation, I believe. She got the layup to fall and got fouled, and they will count it for her, so a chance for the freshman here to try to finish off a 3-point play. 3:43 left in this one, as Price gets called for her 3rd foul of the night for Algona. And the free throw from Jaeger is a little bit of a knuckleball there, bounces off the rim a couple times, but chasing down the offensive board is Rushy. That's another major area of emphasis for Algona to probably work on here this week in practice, is just getting better rebounding position, because they have been out-physicaled on the boards here tonight from Estherville Lincoln Central. On the right wing, it's Jaeger, gives the basketball up in the center of the court to Rushy. Sends it towards the left to Dunleavy. Dunleavy tried to flip it inside, but Perry takes it away, and then Perry throws it away as that pass intercepted by Rushy. Coming the other way, it's Dunleavy, kicks it out. Far corner triple, and coming up with air that time is Dunleavy, as McLaughlin will have the basketball for Algona, and we go under 3 minutes. Schmidt gives it up to McLaughlin, now up top to Perry. Perry looks at the basket, drives to the left of the lane, picks up the dribble and spins and passes it to Van Otterloo. Van Otterloo to Schmidt, thought about the 3, now passes it to the right to Van Otterloo, and she'll swish a triple from right in front of the Algona bench. Nice shot there from the freshman, and a good job there for Paige Schmidt to give the basketball up, look towards the basket like she was going to shoot it, passed towards her right to Van Otterloo, and it was a better look for her teammate, and that makes it 55-17. 2:26 to go. Dunleavy has the basketball knocked away. It will roll, and that one will head out of bounds. 2:18 in, ticking on the running clock. Kaylee Carroll's going to come in for Algona, as Perry will see her final action of the night. Perry held off the scoreboard here for Algona. And Estherville Lincoln Central continues to work pieces off the bench into the game, as Gabby Paul had the basketball there with under 2 minutes to go. Paul passes it backwards to Kara Schiltz, a freshman who's getting in for the first time tonight. ELC moving the ball around the perimeter here, continuing to bleed away the final part of this ball game. 55-17 is the Estherville Lincoln Central lead, and now that pass will be thrown behind Kara Schiltz and go out of bounds. So turnover here with under a minute and a half left to go in this one. 55-17 as Algona is going to get off to an 0-2 start. Estherville Lincoln Central will punch their ticket to a 2-0 start and a very promising beginning to the year for them, as we've got another steal in the backcourt. Schiltz takes it away, passes it towards the far corner to Sander. They rotate it around the perimeter it goes. Coming to the near side, head faking is Gabby Paul. Now she'll bring it back towards the center. Really just a ball control offense here for ELC in the waning stages of this game. Looking inside, lobbing, having the ball knocked away, and picking it up is Price. Turnover there of 51 seconds to go, 55-17. McLaughlin lobs it over. Bulldogs rotated around the perimeter. It's Van Otterloo on the left wing. A bounce pass to the cutting McLaughlin. Turns around and passes it out to Schiltz. Beyond the three-point line, far side of the court. Goes right to Carroll. Pumps towards her right. Comes back to the left to Schmidt. Down to 28 seconds. Schmidt trying to penetrate. She'll get cut off. She's looking, and she'll pass it backwards towards McLaughlin. She'll go across the lane, shoots the runner. It's no good. Price the offensive board, and a whistle and a foul here as we tick under 16 seconds to go in this one. 55-17. Algona will run a play here from the baseline as we get ready to wrap it up. 9 seconds to go. A bounce pass into McLaughlin. She'll put it off the glass. No good. Rebound Carroll, and she's fouled with 4.2 seconds left to go on the clock. 55-17 the score right now, and Kaylee Carroll will attempt a couple free throws here. The junior went 1 of 8 from the charity stripe last season. We'll try to add a couple here for Algona as she swishes the first one. 55-18, first point of the night for the junior. Carroll sets up again. Second foul shot's going to be short, and that one will miss the rim entirely, so that'll be a turnover. Ball will go back to Estherville Lincoln Central, and they'll dribble away the final 4.2 in this one. 55-18 is going to be the final score. And all it will take is an inbound here to make it official. Ball goes into the front court. Final second ticks away, and that's it. 55-18 as the buzzer sounds, and Estherville Lincoln Central, the number 6 ranked team in Class 3A, has a definitive early season win over Algona to drop the Bulldogs to 0-2. Well, Bulldogs will try to dust themselves off, and they'll get ready for more action coming up later this week. Like you mentioned, they've got Clear Lake looming on the schedule coming up on Friday, Charles City around the corner on Saturday, and the Bulldogs still looking for some answers early on in this young season. We'll step aside for a timeout for a couple minutes, and then we'll come back, get you ready for the boys' game, as well as wrap up this girls' game. It's all coming up next, right here on Home Country Radio. We get started between Algona and Estherville Lincoln Central as the Midgets win the opening tip-off, and we are underway here from Estherville Lincoln Central High School. Midgets going from left to right on your radio dial as they move the basketball quickly. It's a senior Ryan Schultz kicking out to Blake Ingvall, launches a three from the right wing, and it's no good. Simon Fikes gets the rebound for Algona. He goes up the court to Tyler Mansky across the lane. It's a kick out. Driving in and getting fouled immediately is Caden Weber for Algona. Weber new to the starting lineup for the Bulldogs. They brought back 2 starters from last year, and they have 3 new ones. Jackson Cecil, Simon Fikes, Caden Weber. They join Tyler Mansky as well as Garrett Goshi for the Bulldogs. And the first free throw's up, and that one is no good from Caden Weber. Algona last season, just over 70% from the foul line. That was second in the North Central Conference as Weber puts the second one up and puts it in. It's 1-0 Algona as we are just underway here from Estherville Lincoln Central High School. Algona makes the game opening free throw, and right now Estherville Lincoln Central has the basketball. Just underway here on Home Country Radio as the jumper is on the way, and Blake Ingvall is fouled for Estherville Lincoln Central. He will shoot 2 foul shots. A big thank you to everyone who's listening on KLGZ, as well as a big thank you to everyone who's watching on our YouTube stream. And of course, Chemnaz, our stream sponsor here. We have to give a big shout out to them as well, helping make this broadcast possible as we venture into the world of video streaming here for high school sports. So game is also being broadcasted on YouTube as well as here on KLGZ as Ingvall splits the pair, and that will tie this game up 1-1. Algona wearing their black uniforms with red lettering here on the road as Mansky passes it to the left, and that ball is tipped, and it will stay for the Bulldogs. Estherville Lincoln Central started up the court trying to get that call there, saying Mansky threw it behind them, but I think they'll say Ryan Schultz reached his finger out and tipped that Mansky pass, which is why it was so far out of bounds. 1-1 tie. Estherville Lincoln Central went 9-13 last season. Algona 16-7. ELC does bring back a good chunk of that roster as Mansky drives baseline, pulls up for the floater, and it rolls out. It took a peek inside, but Ingvall rebounds. Goes up the court to Howard, kicks it out, corner 3 on the way. Schultz has it rattle out, no good, and Simon Fikes rebounds for Algona. 1-1. Caden Weber gets cut off by Howard as he tries to drive towards the baseline. A kick out to Fikes, holding the basketball just left of center. Starts left of the lane, spins back inside. Oh, a beautiful bank shot off the glass. And Simon Fikes gives Algona their first field goal of the season. It's a 3-1 lead. That was a beautiful spin move into the lane. Now on the other end, attacking, scooping, scoring is Owen Larson. And we are tied up at 3 apiece. Up the court goes Fikes, looks inside, spins around, trying to get rid of the ball somehow as he is being pestered by Jack Jensen. And now the ball is going to be thrown away. It's loose on the court. And I believe we'll get a jump ball called here. That is the call, and the possession arrow points in favor of Algona, so the Bulldogs keep it. Algona last season averaged exactly 60 points per game. That was 5th in the North Central Conference. Estherville Lincoln Central, they give up 57.5 points per game if you look at what they did last season. And that inbounds pass is taken away. Schultz goes to Jensen. Now inside, wide open is Howard, and he has a layup right underneath the bucket to make it 5-3. Well, that sloppy turnover there from Algona led to an easy opportunity as now Mansky attacks on the other end. He scores, he's fouled, and they do give him the continuation, so that'll be an and one opportunity here. Schultz gets called for the foul, and we're seeing some quick early action play out here. 5-5 tie. Tyler Mansky to the charity stripe to try to finish off the 3-point play. Mansky, the leading returning scorer for the Bulldogs, along with Garrett Goshi. Those two both averaged over 11 points per game last season as Mansky can't finish off the 3-point play. Rebounding is Larson, running the court, spins it up and spins it in just to the right of the bucket. Great job that time by Larson to make it 7-5 Estherville Lincoln Central. Goshi drives baseline and he gets pushed by Ingvall. That's going to be a foul from the Estherville Lincoln Central senior. Well, ELC is a team that will commit many, many fouls. Last season, they averaged 17.8 fouls per game committed. That was the most in the entire Lakes Conference, a conference comprised of 6 different schools. Estherville Lincoln Central 6 out of 6 last year as Goshi takes the inbound pass, head fakes, drives, puts it off the glass and puts it in. Nice job there by Goshi. Powered his way inside, leaned back a little bit, and just kissed it off the glass to tie it up at 7. First points of the season is now to pull up 3 from the top of the key for Engvall. No good, but Howard shields off the Bulldog rebounder and gets the offensive board. And now a pass inside will result in a held ball here. Where Larson got tied up that time with one of the Bulldogs. I believe that might have been Weber reaching in there to force the jump balls. We'll see a couple early substitutions here for Algona. Lamore and Alfers into the game. To the bench is Weber. Fiked onto the bench as well. As we'll also see Tristan Larson for the first time tonight. In the far corner, it's Schultz. Dribbles out of the corner, now passes it up top to Howard. Howard dribbling between the legs and with the right hand. Tries to go around the screen. Offensive foul. Illegal screen. They're going to get Jack Jensen on that one. He pretty much went in there like a football player trying to run over Lamore and Alfers that time, and the referees caught it. That'll give the ball back to Algona here, tied up 7-7 with 5:17 on the clock. Goshi passes it left to Mansky, into the lane, kick out for Alfers. 3-ball on the way, and he airballed it. First free attempt of the year is long outlet pass. It's tipped by Alfers, it goes into the hand of Jensen. Left a layup short though. Chasing down the offensive board is Howard in the near corner. His pass is tipped, and it's taken away by Tristan Larson. Boy, Alfers tipped that one. It went right into Jensen's hands, but then Jensen missed an easy layup opportunity. And now on the other end, Alfers tried to go for the hard fake that time, but he shuffled the shoes into travel. So now these two teams are trading turnovers back and forth here early on. 7-7 tie, and that's some of the sloppiness that you do expect early on in the season. Algona last year was very good about not turning the basketball over. They averaged about 11.5 per game, which was second best in the North Central Conference. Handoff here to Schultz. He'll pass it to the left to Engvall. Engvall holds the ball above his head, looks inside, pass to the right. Adrian Vaughn in for the first time tonight, misses the right wing triple, and it's rebounded by Alfers. Alfers a high lob, and then that one is stolen. He could not locate Jackson Cecil. 4:30 on the clock. Vaughn working against Goshi, kicks it near corner. Logan Nissen passes to the left to Schultz. Schultz attacks, Schultz blocked, and that one will go out of bounds, touched by Algona. Cecil tried to save it and deflect it backwards into play, but still a nice block there. Keeps the score tied 7-7. Grant Love checks in, Blake Engvall checks out for Estherville Lincoln Central. So far with a healthy rotation of players here tonight. From the baseline, Schultz to inbound, looking, finding Larson in the far corner, and then goes back down onto the block to Nissen, puts it up, no good, and Alfers rips down the rebound for Algona. Larson crosses the logo, angles towards the near side as we're down to 4:08, 7-7 tie. Larson attacks, Larson bumped, Larson puts it off the glass and scores. Larson has a quick look at the ref. I think he wanted the and one there, but he'll take the layup, and that'll make it 9-7 Algona. Up top, Larson will pull on a deep three, and Owen Larson answers Tristan Larson. Now it's Owen Larson of 7, and it's 10-9. Now losing Tyler Mansky is the defense. Mansky sneaks through the back door on the baseline, and he'll stuff it to make it 11-10 Algona. A little soft slam there for Tyler Mansky. 3:36 on the clock now. Schultz into the lane, floating with the left hand, back iron, no good. Rebound Cecil. Cecil racing up the court, kicks it to Mansky. Mansky attacks again, tries to elevate into the air and kick it out to Alfers. Now back to Mansky in the near corner. Holds the ball above his head, drives baseline, gets cut off, and gets bumped and fouled by Nissen. 11 points for Algona, 10 for Estherville Lincoln Central as Nissen gets called for his first foul of the night. And Algona will run a couple substitutions in. Fiked back in, as well as Weber. Goshi to the bench with Cecil. Well, Coach Cecil said in the pregame that Algona can go about 10 deep this year based on early indications, so we'll see how that plays out throughout the night. Alfers picks up his dribble, top of the key now, passes left to Larson. Larson will take an open three as he lost to the defender, but he'll miss it long as it rolls off the rim. Rebound to Owen Larson for the Midgets. Larson attacks left, scoop layup, and he missed it long. Ripping down the rebound is Simon Fiked. Simon Fiked trying to go coast to coast, a floater from just outside the lane, back of the iron, no good, and Owen Larson rebounds. Fast-paced first quarter, 2:50 and ticking. Owen Larson working on right wing against Mansky, gets by him, stops, Mansky blows by, and an easy layup for Larson. What a patient drive that time as he got by Mansky initially. Mansky caught up, but Owen Larson stopped, and Mansky just went right by him. It's now 12-11. The The jump stop is a good weapon if used correctly. And now we'll get a push called here. I believe they'll get Vaughn on that one for Estherville Lincoln Central, as Weber was working on the block that time, just pivoting and pivoting and pivoting, and Vaughn got a little bit too handsy that time. 1 point midget lead. Algona will have a play from the baseline here to inbound it, just slightly to the far side of the bucket. And triggering here will be Caden Weber. Weber looks, bounces it to Larson in the far corner, tried to find a cut and go. She threw it slightly behind him though, and Vaughn tips it to Howard. Turnover for the Bulldogs. Up the court, pass goes to Vaughn, stops for a baseline jumper, bounces on the rim a couple times, and it rolls out no good. It's picked up by Fikes, rebound for Algona. Goshi crosses the timeline on the far side of the court, gets by Vaughn, heading towards the basket, takes some contact from Jensen and leaves the layup short. Great defense by Jensen that time as he rips down the board. Still 12-11, 2:01 to go, and now dancing into the lane is Ingvall. Oh, he sidestepped that time and got by Larson. 14-11. 1:50 on the clock. Fiked attacks left of the lane. They'll call a foul and they'll wave off the bucket. Say that foul was not in the act of shooting. 7 fouls already for Estherville Lincoln Central compared to only 1 for Algona. And again, that trend is just holding up. Estherville Lincoln Central, they're so aggressive on defense, but they've been burned here for a lot of fouls so far, as Algona is in 1-1 territory here with Fiked. Fiked, the right-hander, takes a couple dribbles, and he'll swish the first one. 3 points right now for Fiked. 14-12 the score, and he'll earn a second shot here. Well, last time these two teams matched up, it was last year, November 30th. 1 year ago tomorrow, as Fiked swishes the second one. That'll make it 14-13. And Estherville Lincoln Central beat Algona in that game 43, make that 53-45, in an ugly game for the Bulldogs. They shot 30.8% from the field, only 19% on threes, but off to a little bit better of an offensive start here tonight than they were in that season opener last year. Larson casually dribbles the ball behind his back, gets to the front court. Now he explodes past Goshi, bullet pass inside, and an easy layup for Grant Love. Boy, Larson lulled the defense to sleep that time and then had a bullet of a pass for an assist to make it 16-13. Now Goshi gets the ball peeled away, tries to recover, and throws an interception. Ingvall goes the other way, a bounce down low to Schiltz, hesitates, gets the defender to jump, and draws the foul. Nice job there from Schiltz, not just going straight up with that one. He felt the defender behind him, knew that that could result in the block, so what with a good pump fake. Got the defender airborne, and now we'll see some foul shots here from Estherville Lincoln Central. Not a team that shoots many free throws. They averaged under 12 free throw attempts per game last season, fewest in the Lakes Conference. As the first free throw attempt from Schiltz spins around and spins out no good. Score will stay here at 16-13 with 1:23 on the clock in quarter number 1. So Schiltz will try to salvage a split here. And he does just that as he rattles it in to make it 17-13. First point of the night out of the senior. And now Mansky handles the basketball for Algona. Passes it right to Goshi, comes back to the left, and his pass is taken away. Running up the court is Howard. 3 runs in the basket, and he lays it up and lays it in. Howard anticipated and jumped that pass as quickly the other way. Pass goes to Caden Weber. Wild layup as he tried to fall down and get the foul called. He missed it, and now a jump ball is going to be called after that. Well, 19-13, Estherville Lincoln Central. And last few minutes here of this first quarter, Algona's offense has gone quiet. Mansky nodding his head, looking, lobbing it in. It goes above the head of Goshi, but he'll track it down in the backcourt. And we tick under 1 minute to go in the quarter. Goshi looks to the right, has that ball swatted away, and it's stolen by Grant Love. Love spins, underhand dish goes to Larson on the left wing. Bullet pass inside, has a man open, and Ingvall lays it up and lays it in. 21-13. Midgets are on a run here to end the first quarter. 42 seconds left. Goshi directing traffic with his right hand. Looks inside, passes it left to Larson on the left wing. He's guarded by Schiltz. Larson looks inside. Larson drives. Larson bumped, and Larson throws it out of bounds. Larson took contact from 2 defenders that time as he kind of pinballed in between them. Larson was looking for a foul. He didn't get called, and I think That was a drive where he was really more so looking for a foul than looking for a bucket, but he does not get the call, and it's 21-13. Now Owen Larson pulls up, top of the key, and he swishes it. It's a big run here to end the first quarter. 24-13, Owen Larson of 12. And Mansky gets fouled as he tries to bring it into the front court. Boy, this crowd is roaring here to start this one. Blocking foul is called. That is foul number 8 against Estherville Lincoln Central. Number 2 against Blake Engvall. And Algona's obviously in shooting territory here, so Tyler Mansky will be the recipient of that. And Mr. QB1 for Algona will take the first of the 1-and-1 here. Spins the first one up, and he rattles it in. That'll at least briefly break up the Estherville Lincoln Central scoring run. 5 points now for Mansky. 24-14 is the score at the moment. Mansky ready again. Spins it up. Back iron, no good. 9 seconds left. Rebound, Owen Larson. Larson pushing with 6 seconds. Larson laying it up. Counted in the foul. Larson went coast to coast. Algona let him get all the way to the bucket, and a blocking foul is going to be called against Tristan Larson. Well, Owen Larson is torching the Bulldogs so far here in quarter number 1. He's got 14, and he is attacking the rack right now. 3.5 seconds left to go in the quarter. He'll try to finish a 3-point play. And Estherville Lincoln Central just exploding here on offense. No rust. As that foul shot is missed, it's short. Goshi rebounds, gets it to Mansky, gets the shot off, and it's off the front of the rim from half court. That'll end the first quarter. 26-14, Estherville Lincoln Central. We'll take a timeout and be back in 60 seconds right here on Home Country Radio. As we return, it's time for quarter number 2 action here from Estherville Lincoln Central High School. Right now it is 26-14, Estherville Lincoln Central leading Algona. Tyler Lancefew here on Home Country Radio. And well, last year Estherville Lincoln Central had 7 games of scoring at least 70 points. They went 7-0 in those games. Right now they're on pace for 104 points as the Bulldogs look for answers defensively, but they're not going to find one as Owen Larson drives right to the lane and gets another blow-by layup, 28-14. Trying to quickly strike back as Weber on the other end. He's wild on a layup, and now it's Pace heading up the court. Engvall floats and he scores. Engvall got all the way to the bucket, and Coach Jared Cecil is going to call a timeout. 30-14 right now, 16 points for Owen Larson, and with 7 of his own is Engvall. Well, Coach Cecil knows he has to stop this momentum very, very quickly. Estherville Lincoln Central, they've fed on their home crowd, and they have controlled this game. In quarter number 1, Algona had 8 turnovers. That is something that they cannot sustain if they're going to try to win this game. If you look at the shooting numbers, Estherville Lincoln Central, 11 of 21 on field goals during quarter number 1. Algona only got 12 field goal attempts. They were 5 of 12. And now not a good start here to quarter number 2 as ELC gets a couple easy layups. And really, if you're Algona, you just gotta find a way to keep Estherville Lincoln Central out of the lane. I mean, last season they were essentially a 26% three-point shooting team. But so far here tonight, they've hit a couple three-pointers, but they've attacked the rack. They've really gotten to the lane, and Algona is just not protecting the rim so far in tonight's game. I mean, you've got to force Estherville Lincoln Central to shoot the basketball, shoot mid-range twos, and shoot three-pointers. As last season, Estherville Lincoln Central was last in the Lakes Conference in both field goal percentage and three-point percentage. So certainly Algona's got to find a way to force them outside and keep them away from the rim. But easier said than done. 30-14 the score right now as we come out of the timeout. Garrett Goshi handling the basketball for Algona on the right wing. Goshi spins, has it poked away, and there's a turnover. Owen Larson picked his pocket. Larson races across the timeline, kicks it left to Schiltz. Schiltz started to drive, then fought better of it. Now Larson curls around, jumper inside the foul line, and he cans it. Nothing but net, Owen Larson, 18 points. You can live with that shot if you're Algona, but right now everything falling for the Midgets. Driving inside, getting hit hard, and traveling is Tristan Larson. Boy, Larson got popped in the nose that time, and he came to a complete stop because he thought for sure that that play was going to be blown dead, but it was for a travel. Larson appears to be all right, though, and 32-14 is the score. Owen Larson flips it back to Engvall. Engvall floating from the lane, no good. Gets his own miss, follows, misses again. Back tap, and it's kept alive. Owen Larson has it, top of the key, passing left to Engvall. Lifts up a three-pointer, left it short, and it rolls over the top of the glass. And that will give the ball back to Algona here, 32-14, as they dodge a couple bullets on that possession. Well, watching here throughout the night, and not just throughout the night, but throughout the season, who's going to step up and score for Algona besides Tyler Mansky and Garrett Goshi as Mansky spins inside, and his shot from the lane misses off to the left, no good, as he grimaces in frustration. Engvall working on the wing against Goshi, picks up his dribble and passes it left to Vaughn. Vaughn stops at the foul line, then passing it backwards to Schiltz. Schiltz from the logo gets picked up by Weber, heads towards his right, now back towards the middle. Floats from the lane, scores from the lane. Well, Algona's keeping them away from the rim now, but they're hitting from mid-range as Vaughn intercepts that long pass. With pace, the other way, it's Schiltz to the bucket, and he's blocked from behind by Feicht. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with Estherville Lincoln Central. But to finish up the point on Algona, again, besides Tyler Mansky and Garrett Goshi, Algona returns 0 players who scored more than 2 points all of last season. So really, you've got 2 studs, and you've got really a lot of unknowns here on the roster. And certainly, we talked with Coach Cecil in the pregame. He thinks he has a lot of talent and a lot of depth. And Algona will need to find that well-rounded attack here as they trail by 20. Lamore Nolfer's in the game. He's on the right wing, being pestered. Bounce pass inside, and that one intercepted by Vaughn. Goshi wasn't ready for it. Vaughn bouncing onto the block. Ball gets held up there as Nissen got tied up, and they'll get a foul here against Tristan Larson. Foul number 2 for Larson here tonight. It was on the floor, so Schiltz will inbound it here. Got a 30-second timeout called by Estherville Lincoln Central, and I'd say probably to give their team a little bit of time to breathe here more than anything. They've played at such a good, quick pace here tonight, up 34-14. They're pretty much running off of every turnover Algona's had so far. They've attacked the glass relentlessly, like we've mentioned. In defense, they are just absolutely pestering the Bulldogs here to start tonight. Well, Estherville Lincoln Central wants to stay out of close games, and so far, obviously doing that here tonight. Last season, if you look at games decided by 10 points or less, Estherville Lincoln Central is 2-7. Kind of the opposite of Algona. Algona won a lot of close games. They were 10-5 in games that were decided by 10 points or less. So you've got a team in Algona that was very clutch last year when the games were the closest, and an Estherville Lincoln Central team that struggled to close out close games. So you love what you're seeing here if you're the Midgets, as on the inbounds play, Larson gets right to the rack and he scores it. 36-14, 20 points now for Owen Larson. Estherville Lincoln Central trying to run away and hide so there won't be a close game, as now attacking from the baseline and getting hacked is Caden Weber. He got crushed from behind that time by Tristan Howard. Howard's second foul of the night. And Caden Weber here, with his bright yellow and orange shoes, will attempt a couple foul shots, as he'll leave that first one short, and the score stays 36-14. Grant Love, the senior, into the game. He'll replace Logan Nissen, the junior. Weber spins up the second foul shot, and that one drops to make it 36-15. 2 points here tonight for Weber as he's split his free throw attempts. Larson pulls up for a heat check three, and that one rattles out no good. Boy, he just walked into that one about 5 feet deep beyond the three-point line as Mansky dances the other way down the lane, and Mansky gets fouled. Tyler Mansky will shoot some free throws, and that's what you've got to do if you're Algona. Be the aggressor. Bulldogs have not been the aggressor so far here tonight, as, boy, they'll get Tristan Howard on that one, and that is going to be Howard's third foul of the night already. 10th team foul for Estherville Lincoln Central here in half number one, as Mansky misses on the foul shot. So they're going to conserve Howard and make sure he doesn't pick up foul number 4 and bring in the junior Blake Evans to replace him. Mansky will try to split the pair here. Get it back down to a 20-point game. As he'll miss long on that one, but an offensive board for Weber. Takes one dribble, goes back up of it, misses it long again. Mansky tips, tries to keep it alive, and a foul's going to be called as Mansky pushed Owen Larson along the baseline. Algona had a couple opportunities that time, but could not cash in, and Mansky goes 0 for 2 from the line. Algona misses a couple follow-ups, and now with 5 minutes left and a 36-15 lead, Estherville Lincoln Central has the basketball back. Larson has it. Larson trying to get by Goshi, heading towards the lane. Cecil's there. He dumps it off on the block, laying it up and missing it. It rolls off for Love, but the follow-up by Evans, he misses that one too. Now outlet pass to Mansky for Algona. Mansky runs, sidesteps the defender, and Ryan Schultz bothered that one just enough where Mansky left it short. Now Schultz tries to run the other way. Schultz partially blocked the rim. Offensive board Larson. Larson back up with it, rolls off no good. Back tap though to Vaughn. Vaughn top of the key, passes on the baseline to Larson. Larson kicks it out and he'll throw it away. Tyler Mansky now runs for Algona. It's paced back and forth. Mansky into the lane and a blocking foul. That was a close call. The home crowd wanted a charge. The Bulldog fans here wanted a blocking foul, and Tyler Mansky gets his way and he'll head to the free throw line once again. He has been making some aggressive drives to the basket here the past couple of times down the floor for Algona. That shot is up for Mansky, and he drains the first foul shot. Algona as a team attempted the most free throws in the North Central Conference last year, and by a significant amount. 18.3 per game for Algona. That's what they love, just attacking the basket and drawing fouls. The second place team was Iowa Falls Alden. They only attempted 15.3 foul shots per game, 3 behind Algona, as Mansky rattles that one in. Just for reference, the difference between Algona and second place was the same as the difference between the second and sixth place teams in terms of free throw attempts. 36-17, 4:13 on the clock, as Schultz pumps and then passes up top to Larson, looks towards his left and lobs it over to Evans. Evans goes to Schultz, curls through the lane, layup is good, counted on the foul. Schultz got the continuation. Goshi gets called for the foul for Algona. And every time the Bulldogs get a couple points or a couple stops on defense, it just seems Estherville Lincoln Central answers right back. It's 38-17 right now. Schultz tries to finish the three-point play, and he swishes the foul shot. 39-17. 6 points for Ryan Schultz. Goshi pump fakes inside, then passes it towards the right. With the basketball for Algona, it's Landon Welp. Welp gets rid of it to Larson. He'll launch up a three ball, but it bounces high off the rim, no good, as Ryan Schultz rebounds. Outlet pass, trying to find Adrian Vaughn, but it went off of Vaughn's hands and out of bounds. So Algona will get a turnover. Timeout called by Coach Cecil, and it's a 30-second timeout, so we will keep it right here. Well, again, the Bulldogs, for pretty much the majority of this first half, have not been the aggressors here. They had a brief period of a couple minutes where they were aggressive, got a few foul shot attempts, and drove to the basket. But when you put yourself down by 20 and now 22, which is what the Bulldogs are down by, it's hard to be the aggressor, and it's hard to get back into the game. Bulldogs will have to show a lot of fight here throughout the end of the first half and into the second half, and really just slow down what is a surprisingly potent Estherville Lincoln Central offense. Last year they averaged 56.2 points per game, and here tonight they're on pace to get above 80. Not sure if that pace will necessarily continue, but it has been a brilliant offensive first half for the Midgets. Mansky starts towards the baseline and gets cut off. Picks up his dribble, rotates on the pivot foot, gets to Welp on the left wing. Welp drives, turns around, kicks it out to Feicht. Feicht now on the left wing. Feicht has it stolen away as Blake Evans reached in the cookie jar and got it. 3:17 on the clock, Estherville Lincoln Central basketball. Schultz drives, stops at the foul line, steps back, hands it off to Vaughn. Vaughn tried to dribble behind his back and he dribbled it away. Algona picks the basketball up. Goshi headed in, little skip pass sideways. Larson launches the three and it's off target. Goshi follows and Goshi scores. Nice offensive board there for Garrett Goshi and just went right back up with it to make it 39-19. Algona still down, is now getting inside to the block and putting it off the glass is Grant Love. He scores it to make it 41-19. That's what you can't have if you're Algona. The Estherville Lincoln Central players catching in good position on the block as now Mansky goes down to work on the near block. He scores. Long outlet pass. Algona wasn't ready for it. And we've got a whistle here and a push called against Simon Feicht. Grant Love was just kind of cherry picking down the court and nobody was there for Algona. Feicht tried to catch up at the last minute, but he pushed Love in the back, and now Love will shoot a couple foul shots. Estherville Lincoln Central kind of quick pitched Algona that time. They ran a very quick inbounds play before Algona was ready to set up on defense, and like we said, Love was just down there lingering in the front court, ready to catch that pass. So Feicht is out here for Algona. Coming in is Lamorne Alfers. And the first of the 1-and-1 misses off to the right, no good. And Mansky grabs the board for Algona. 2:28 to go. Mansky to the far corner, Larson. Now to Weber. Bounce pass to Mansky. He'll kick it out to Welp. Welp on the left wing, swings the ball around, takes one dribble to the right, now comes back to the left to Mansky. Out beyond the three-point line, Mansky finds a cutting Lamorne Alfers to the bucket and he scores. That is fantastic movement without the basketball by Lamorne Alfers. He has his first two of the night, and it's 41-23. Good find by Mansky as well in the assist. Now Owen Larson drives, dumps it off to Love, left the layup short, and Larson picks it up for Algona. 1:52 to go. Larson attacks. Larson stripped. It goes out of bounds. It hits Larson's knee, and that'll be a turnover for Algona. Larson holds his head in frustration, and didn't see exactly who got that one for Estherville Lincoln Central, but that may have been Evans reaching in there. In any case, it was a good play to dislodge the basketball from Larson, who was just on a beeline to the bucket. 41-23. Owen Larson, bumped by Tristan Larson, passes it back to the left. Engvall, catch and shoot three, and he buries it. It had been a while since Estherville Lincoln Central hit a three, but now Blake Engvall has 10 points after that triple. Welp to the top of the key to Alfers. Left wing, Larson. Larson takes one step to the left, now back to the right. Goshi top of the wing, pumps, gets Vaughn to jump, drives left in the lane, turns around, into the lane. Right-hander, misses off target to the right, and Owen Larson rebounds. And now a foul for Algona as they try to peel it away. They may have gotten Tristan Larson on that one, and we'll see what the referees officially say here. They do. That'll be the third foul here for Tristan Larson, as it's been a tough first half for him. He's had a couple turnovers, those 3 fouls as well. And now he'll be replaced in the lineup here by Caden Weber. So that'll be 8 fouls on Algona, 1:11 on the clock, and a free throw attempt for Owen Larson, who rolls it in. 21 points here in the first half out of this sophomore. Larson started last year as a freshman, and he drains that second foul shot. 22 points. What a way to start off your sophomore campaign. 46-23 right now, and Larson just under half of the Estherville Lincoln Central points. He's almost outscoring Algona on his own here. Welp drives into the lane for the Bulldogs. We'll get a whistle and a foul, and they will call it on the floor. But Estherville Lincoln Central does already have those 10 fouls, and they call Blake Evans on that one, so that will result in Landon Welp taking some free throws here. First one is on the way for Welp, and he drains it. First point of the night for him, 46-24. First varsity point as well, and Really, that applies for a lot of the Algona players who haven't really seen any varsity minutes, as Welp drains both foul shots, and that'll make it 46-25. We are under a minute to go here until the half. Driving left of the lane, Owen Larson, scoop layup, and he got to the bucket again. Boy, Goshi's upset. Partially that he got past him, and I think he was looking for some help there on defense as well. 24 points for Larson. Olfers attacks, Olfers is falling down, and he traveled. Olfers was looking for the foul. He tried to bump the defender of his back, lost balance, and boy, everything is going against Algona here in the first half. The turnovers, having Owen Larson score 24 points against you, and frankly, there's just some frustrated body language out there right now for the Bulldogs, who know they have not played up to what they feel they are capable of here so far in this first half of basketball. Owen Larson trying to dribble away most of the clock. Goshi applying a little bit of pressure here as he reaches in. Larson gets by him. Larson into the lane, kicks it out beyond the three-point line to Evans. Rotates around the perimeter, gets it to Love. Heading into the lane, it rattles out no good. Olfers rebounds of 10 seconds for Algona. Olfers crosses the timeline, passes right to Goshi. Goshi stops, pull up three from the right wing, and he swishes it. Oh, did Algona need that? 1 second to go, full court heave, off target to the right. 48-28 at the half, but boy, Algona really needed that three from Garrett Goshi there, and maybe, just possibly, that could change a little bit of momentum as we head to the locker room, but lots and lots of work for Algona to do, especially here on the defensive end as we head towards halftime. Leading scorer right now, Owen Larson with 24 points for Algona, 9 points for Tyler Mansky so far. With that, we'll go ahead and step out for a timeout for a couple of minutes, come back, get you some first half stats and analysis, and preview the second half. It's coming up next, right here on Home Country Radio. So far tonight, and Owen Larson just has found a way to get it done here of his 24 points so far on this one. But looking at some shooting numbers here, Estherville Lincoln Central in the first half, they were 20 of 40 from the field, went 3 of 9 from deep, but really, again, like we mentioned, they're not a big three-point shooting team. They are just finding their way to the basket time after time, as they have gone 5 of 9 from the foul line as well. Algona, on the other hand, not too hot so far on the field goal shooting night, 9 of 23, and you see there the disparity. Only 23 field goal attempts for Algona compared to 40 so far for Estherville Lincoln Central. Algona also 1 of 5 on three-pointers. They are 9 of 15 from the charity stripe so far in this one. So those are the first half stats, what the shooting numbers look like, as well as the turnovers. And again, Algona, they're just going to have to find a way to continue attacking in the second half. You can't get outside of your game and start playing a game like a team you're not. If you're Algona, you still got to go to your bread and butter, and that's you've got to be the attacker. You've got to head towards the basket. Algona's not a team that will sit back and pull a ton of three-pointers, and I really don't think that's how you get back into the game in the second half. You've got to move the ball. You've got to attack the basket, and you've got to continue to try to get Estherville Lincoln Central into foul trouble. If there's anything in the first half that may have been a bright spot, Algona was able to just draw lots and lots of fouls, so perhaps you can get some of the better midget players into foul trouble in the second half and put some pressure on them in that manner. But there's going to be lots and lots of work here for Algona. They can't let up any more big runs by the midgets. It just has to be progressively working their way back into the game in half number 2 here coming up. But season opener, Algona versus Estherville Lincoln Central. Estherville Lincoln Central looking to beat Algona for the second consecutive year after winning the season opener against the Bulldogs last season as well. Do the Bulldogs have a comeback in them in the second half? We'll find out here as we'll step aside for about 2 or 3 minutes. We'll come back and get you ready for second half action coming up next right here on Home Country Radio. Ball action here from Estherville Lincoln Central High School. It's Algona 48, or make that Estherville Lincoln Central 48 and Algona 28. Tyler Lance with you here on Home Country Radio on what has been a tough night for the Bulldogs so far, but again, like we've mentioned, still plenty of time to try to fight back and turn it around. And really, if you look at it, I think this is a Bulldog team trying to find their identity in the first half. We've just really kind of stressed on the point. You've got 2 key starters coming back from last year between Garrett Goshi and Tyler Mansky, both very strong scorers, both senior leaders on this Bulldog team. But really besides that, you don't have anyone who played a whole lot of varsity last year. So I think just finding a way to get the 5 players to work together and be on the same page and really just avoid turnovers and get back here into the second half is going to be a process for the Bulldogs as they work through this one. But it's a process that's going to have to happen quickly here if they don't want to drop to 0-1. And again, if you look at the Estherville Lincoln Central side of things, I mean, what really can you say? This has been about the perfect start to the ballgame they could have drawn up. And again, in the pregame interview and talking with their coach, it was really a situation where he told us, hey, we have a lot of talent coming back from last year. A lot of our key players are returning to the team. And we really know here that they're going to bring some varsity experience, and they're going to be ready to hit the ground running here in game number 1. And that is exactly what happened here tonight. And, you know, that's something Coach Cecil kind of cautioned against in game number 1 as well. And he said pretty much the same thing, like, hey, we know Estherville Lincoln Central is bringing back some good pieces from last year, and they are not the same team that went 9-13 last year. They are certainly an improved team this year, and that's what the Bulldogs are seeing here to start this one. We're about 2:40 away from the start of basketball action in the second half. Again, in case you missed it, 24 points so far from the sophomore Owen Larson. He has been the story here tonight, as how the Bulldogs defend him in the second half will be a big storyline. I mean, do you double team him? Do you try to trap? Just anything to try to throw Larson off his game and force someone else to beat you here in this situation. And certainly there are some capable players here on the midgets that would be capable of filling that torch, but I'm not sure anyone could do quite what Larson did in half number 1. So Bulldogs have to find a way to get the basketball out of his hands and force someone else to beat them. For Algona's side of things, right now Tyler Mansky has 9 points, Garrett Goshi has 7, and Tristan Larson right now has a couple points as well, with 5 points, it's Simon Feicht. Or check that, 4 points for Simon Feicht. Those are a few of the leading scorers right now for the Bulldogs, but again, not a whole lot of offense in the first half, 28 points. And like we mentioned, just struggling to connect on field goals in half number one. They went 9 of 23 from the field. Estherville Lincoln Central right at that 50% mark, 20 of 40. We'll take one final timeout here before the start of the second half. Step aside here for 60 seconds and be back with the start of the second half coming up next here on Home Country Radio. We are seconds away here from the start of the second half. Getting ready here for Algona and Estherville Lincoln Central. Half number two. It's 48-28 right now in favor of the Midgets. We thank everyone who's listening over on Home Country Radio as well as on our live stream. We've got it up on YouTube now as this basketball season we're adventuring into the world of video streaming. And of course, a big thank you to our sponsor. It's Chemnaz. They're a big reason why we're able to do this stream and be able to do this here throughout the basketball season, bring you some video of the road Algona games. And to start the second half, Bulldogs will turn it over immediately as a pass goes behind Tyler Mansky and out of bounds along the far side of the court. So not the start Algona envisioned after struggling with turnovers in half number one. That is already number 16 on the night for the Bulldogs. Engvall, turnaround jumper from the foul line, and he cans it. Boy, where can't this Estherville Lincoln Central team hit shots from? Great turnaround jumper as now Feicht elevates for a three-pointer. He'll miss it, and Larson rips down the board for Estherville Lincoln Central. Outlets up the court to Schultz, gets Feicht to jump, pumps again, and Feicht fouls him from behind. Schultz pumped once, took one dribble to get inside, pumped again, and Feicht was jumping all over the place. That'll be his second foul of the night. And we'll see 2 free throws here from Ryan Schultz. 50-28, the Estherville Lincoln Central lead. As the first foul shot is good, making it 51-28. And like we mentioned last year, Estherville Lincoln Central 7-0 in games where they scored at least 70 points. And they are more than on pace for that so far tonight. Schultz, second one long. Engvall fighting for the rebound, and he and Mansky get tied up. It's a jump ball on the possession arrow right now. Points towards Estherville Lincoln Central. So that's a good job there by Engvall to essentially cause an extra possession here. From the baseline, Schultz gets the basketball into the foul line. Larson against Goshi, floats from the lane and banks it off the glass. Oh, and Larson of 26 points. It's been a special night so far for the sophomore. Cecil passes the basketball to Weber. He drives, floats from just outside the lane, gets the friendly bounce, and it goes in. 53-30. Up the court, attacking, leaving it short, but getting fouled is Tristan Howard. And Howard will head to the line here for 2 shots. Well, we'll see how the trends work out here for Algona scoring-wise. They're actually not too far behind the pace for what their season average was last year, which is 60 points. And there was a pretty clean cut as the first foul shot rattles in. Last year, Algona was 11-2 when they scored at least 60. 5-5, though, when they did not score 60. So, again, they should get pretty close here to that 60-point mark tonight, if not exceed it. But they're going to need a couple stops defensively as the foul shot's good, and it's 55-30. Mansky spins into the lane, kicks it out, Feicht, passes at the three-pointer, jab steps, now dribbles left of 2 dribbles, bounce pass. It's A reverse layup in the score. Oh, nice job there by Jackson Cecil. Just curled around underneath the basket and got the layup. Trying to drive coast to coast is Larson, and he left the layup short. Running out the other way, it's Fiked. Heads towards the right wing and picks up his dribble. Turns around, passes to Mansky in front of the Algona bench. Mansky holds the ball out in his right hand now, starts to dribble off the left. Whips the pass inside to Goshi, cuts to the basket and scores. Goshi went right down the teeth of the defense that time, and Mansky rifled it in there like a quarterback. Beautiful job that time, and it's 55-34. Estherville Lincoln Central still in the lead. Catch and shoot three, and Engvall drains it again. Boy, he's been good on those catch and shoots so far tonight. That time coming from the left wing as he tries to knock it away from Goshi. Goshi gets bumped, and offensive foul is going to be called. In the lane that time, Jack Jensen was just waiting for Goshi to arrive. Goshi spun away from the initial defender, but just went full momentum into Jensen that time. Smart play from the senior to draw the offensive foul, as that'll be number 2 on Goshi here tonight. 58-34. As with the basketball this time, Engvall brings it into the front court, coming from the near side, passes right to the logo to Larson. Larson working into the lane, a floater, it's good. No doubt about it, as Larson has 28 points. His floaters looked good so far here in the second half. Attacking the glass and missing off target to the right for the layup is Caden Weber. Back the other way quickly is Jensen. Layup high off the glass and he rattles it in. 62-34, and this second half is starting eerily similarly to the way the first half went. Mansky from the far side of the court, right in front of the bleachers, dribbles between his legs and picks it up now, looks inside, whips one to Goshi, off his fingertips and taken by Schiltz. Outlets up the court, layup is up, and Howard left it short. Oh, missed opportunity there. Howard had no one in front of him as Mansky lobs it to Goshi. Goshi pumps, now Goshi pulls the trigger on a three. No good, tipped backwards. Goshi gets it back. Goshi drives, Goshi fouled. Goshi passed up a kick-out opportunity that time to Jackson Cecil to attack the rack, and it pays off here as that'll be the first foul of the half for Estherville Lincoln Central. Third foul of the night on Jack Jensen, and Garrett Goshi here will shoot free throws. The senior spins the first one up, takes the bounce off the back of the iron, no good. As Simon Fikes will check out, and we'll see Tristan Larson come in for Algona. One more attempt here for Goshi, as the Bulldogs currently trailing by 28 points. Spins it up, and he drills it. 62-35 the score right now. Larson casually walking the ball into the front court. Goshi eyeing him like a hawk. Larson dribbles between the legs, blows past Goshi, sees traffic in the lane, kicks it out to Howard. Short on the three ball, but Larson gets the offensive board. Larson steps out, passes it left to Engvall. Contested three ball, back iron that time, no good. Long rebound, kicks out to Caden Weber. Weber trying to weave. Weber a high pass to Cecil, and he can't leap up and reach it. It goes out of bounds and into the Algona bench. Another turnover for the Bulldogs with 4:38 on the clock here in the third quarter. 62-35 right now the score. Engvall set to inbound it. Engvall has a quiet 15 tonight, and I say quiet as it's been overshadowed by Larson's 28. Schiltz hands the basketball off to Owen Larson. He'll pull a deep triple, and that one rattles out no good. A heat check. Howard rebounds, and then Howard follows it in from the baseline. 8 points for Tristan Howard. Back the other way goes Cecil. He's blocked from behind, but he's fouled by Vaughn. And Jackson Cecil here will shoot a couple free throws. 2 points tonight out of Cecil. 64-35 right now the score with 4:14 on the clock as Cecil swishes the first one. Algona last season went 8-2 against teams that finished with a losing record, but one of those two did come in their matchup against Estherville Lincoln Central. Different looking game that time though, as second foul shot is missed and Vaughn rebounds. Vaughn was actually the leading scorer the last time these two teams matched up with 16, although he's been quiet here tonight in terms of points. 0 so far. As a free ball from Evans is swished. Evans shot it from the near side, no hesitation, and absolutely drains it to make it 67-36. Mansky spins, Mansky meets traffic, and he could not keep the pivot foot. He spun into the double team that time, had nowhere to go for the basketball, and that'll be a turnover yet again for Algona. 67-36. Vaughn into the front court. Mansky's on him, he passes it to the right to Larson. Larson's on Goshi. Looking around, driving right past Goshi, dishes to the baseline. Love works into the lane of the left hand, and Love is going to get fouled by Cecil. So much of the defense now is turning towards Owen Larson, as there's consistently been 2 or 3 guys, sometimes even 4, collapsing in on him here in the second half when he's driven it into the lane, but that's opened up kickouts. That has opened up just those little underhand dishes as well, like he did to Love that time, and Love will miss the first foul shot. And that really just opens up a whole new level of your offense as well when those start to become available. And I think all teams that play Estherville Lincoln Central here going forward will have Owen Larson circled, and he'll be seeing a lot of traffic here throughout the season based on tonight's performance. Second foul shot missed. That's an 0-for-2 trip to the line. Cecil jump stops into the lane. His shot's partially blocked. Rejection there by Nissen, who just checked in. 3:25 and ticking. Owen Larson into the front court, pulls up from the top of the key, and he drains it. 31 points for Owen Larson, burying the triple to make it 70-36. On the other end, Mansky puts it off the glass and scores. That'll make it 70-38 now as we tick down towards 3 minutes. 11 for Mansky. Owen Larson dribbling, passing it left to Vaughn. Vaughn, a bounce pass to the cutter, tried to find Love, but it got peeled away. It's picked up by Welp, lobs it up the court. Goshi blocks from behind, but a foul. Oh, this crowd was ready to explode if Owen Larson was able to block that one, but could not get it cleanly. And now we'll see Garrett Goshi head to the foul line. That's the one aspect of Algona that's looked relatively normal here tonight, is they have pretty much had a continuous path to the free-throw line. A lot of fouls here tonight from Estherville Lincoln Central. Goshi, normally a very solid free-throw shooter, readies himself for the first shot, and that one will bounce off the front of the rim, no good. Estherville Lincoln Central has a 4-3 edge in this series between the two teams. To go back to 2014, they've won 2 in a row over Algona, looking for number 3 here tonight as Goshi salvages a split of the pair. He now has 11 to share the team lead in points of Tyler Mansky. Larson drives, Larson kicks, and before he kicks, Larson was fouled. Algona was just waiting there of 2 defenders for Owen Larson to arrive, and that is going to be foul number 4 on Tristan Larson. So Estherville Lincoln Central will inbound it here from the far side of the court, and Tristan Larson will have to leave the game. He'll be replaced by Caden Weber, as Larson has the 4 fouls. Simon Fike's also getting ready to check in for Algona, as he'll replace Jackson Cecil. 70-39, 2:44 on the clock left in this one in the third quarter. And Blake Evans will be the trigger man here on the inbounds play. Gets it in cleanly to Schultz. Schultz working his way towards the left, now tries to go towards the basket, and Goshi poked it away. Fike picks it up, long pass down the court to Goshi. Goshi stops, lets the defense go by him, leaves the layup short though, and it's picked up by Estherville Lincoln Central. Vaughn comes back the other way. Vaughn goes right down the middle, and his layup got stuffed by the rim that time. Vaughn elevated a little bit too late there and mistimed his jump. Goshi on the other end lifts the three-pointer, and he buries it. 70-42, 14 points for Garrett Goshi. And we'll get a whistle here, and a timeout appears to be called by Estherville Lincoln Central with 2:12 left on the clock here in this third quarter. So timeout, it's a 30-second timeout, and we'll keep it right here. Probably not a ton to talk about if you're Estherville Lincoln Central, but maybe a little bit more about cleaning up a couple of the turnovers they've had in the past couple of minutes and closing out on the three-point shooters for Algona. But certainly an ideal start for a team that came in last place in the Lakes Conference last year, but they are looking to flip the standings this season. Algona, of course, finished second in the North Central Conference last year, and they won't get into North Central Conference games just yet. They'll be playing out of conference here to start the season, including tonight's game. And, well, Algona did something very unique last season, and maybe not unique, but certainly a great accomplishment, and that's beat every team in the conference at least once. And that included a very dominant Clear Lake team that Algona was able to take down late in the season last year. 70-42. Passes inbound to Ryan Schultz, and Schultz immediately gets fouled with 2:11 on the clock here in this third quarter. So foul gets called on Weber, and we'll see another inbounds play here from the baseline just underneath the basket. This time the ball's in cleanly to Schultz, no foul. And we play on. Schultz crosses the timeline, tries to get past Weber, but Weber catches up. Schultz on the edge of the logo at midcourt, passes it towards the left to Nissen. Nissen at the top of the key, goes to the far side. Vaughn in the corner, Vaughn around the screen. Vaughn picks up his dribble, looks towards the corner again. Goes back and forth between him and Love. Now Vaughn will pull up for a long two, and he knocks it down. Estherville Lincoln Central back up by 30. They really are hitting every shot here tonight. When you're hot, you're hot. As Mansky throws the pass away and Vaughn intercepts. Vaughn backs it out beyond the three-point line. 1:31 to go. Vaughn crossing over. Vaughn almost lost the dribble that time, but got it back up top to Schultz. 1:23 and ticking. Schultz gets by Weber, kicks it out, wide open three, Blake Evans, and it's a little long, no good. Offensive board, though, for Grant Love. Finds the cutting Vaughn, and he goes to the basket and scores it. Love with a beautiful assist to Vaughn, who went down the middle of a heavily trafficked lane, but still got the lay-in to make it 74-42. Now it's Welp for Algona, passing it right. Vaughn intercepts. Vaughn to the bucket, and he has an easy layup. Vaughn read that pass perfectly, and then no one was in front of him once he picked that one. 76-42. 47 seconds to go. Estherville Lincoln Central with a dominant third quarter here. Bounce pass out to Mansky. He'll pull on a three ball, but that one is short. And at 37 seconds, the Midgets have the rebound again. Nissen launches it up the court to Schultz, who collects it. Mansky's on him. He's looking for Vaughn in the corner. Now down onto the block, working as Nissen. They'll wave it off, and a foul will be called against Algona. We'll see who they get that one. And that is going to be on Simon Feicht. That'll be Feicht's fourth foul of the night. So not only Feicht, but Larson as well with 4 fouls. Goshi with 3 so far in the ballgame for the Bulldogs. And second half has almost been a reversal. First half, it was Estherville Lincoln Central accumulating the fouls. Here in the second half, it's been Algona, as the first in the 1-and-1 is up, and it is good from Nissen. 17 fouls for Algona in this second half, compared to only 3 for Estherville Lincoln Central. 77-42. And that shot rattles out, no good. So a split of the pair, 21 seconds now to go. Mansky crosses the timeline. Mansky works into the lane. Mansky from the left side fights through contact, and he gets fouled on the play. And that foul is going to be called against Nissen, the junior. So Mansky will head to the foul line here for a couple of free throws and try to end the third quarter here for Algona with some points. The senior ready, and he spins up that first one and puts it in. 77-43, Mansky with 12 points so far. He and Garrett Goshi have combined for 26 out of the 43 Algona points so far in this game. New substitution for Algona here, as Feicht will head down to the bench. The shot is up, and it is good. Ben Helmer's into the game for the Bulldogs. He'll replace Feicht. 13 seconds to go. Estherville Lincoln Central will likely try to run out this clock and take one more shot. 7 seconds at Schultz, heading towards the left. He's bothered by Weber, and Weber fouled him. That certainly was not what Algona was looking for in that situation, because now you send Schultz to the foul line here for a 1-and-1. Aggressive defense is good, but with time running out there in the half, I think that's one that you probably don't want to commit there if you're Caden Weber. Schultz spins that one up, and he rattles it in, making the score 78-44. 8 points now in the night for the senior Ryan Schultz. One more shot here, second of the 1-and-1. And he swishes it. 79-44. 4 seconds for Algona. Inbound to Goshi. Goshi to half court. Gets it stolen. Schultz at the buzzer. Off target, no good. Great steal from Schultz that time and lobbed the half court shot, but missed it off to the left. And we go to the fourth quarter. Estherville Lincoln Central 79, Algona 44. You're listening to high school basketball right here on Home Country Radio. We return here to Estherville Lincoln Central High School as Tyler Mansky spins into the lane and travels to begin the fourth quarter. 7:51 and ticking here on the clock as Algona has just struggled here defensively all night long. Owen Larson returns to the game for Estherville Lincoln Central, and we've got a foul here as bodies go crashing to the court. It's just been a disappointing night for Algona, and certainly a large part of that is Owen Larson. 31 points so far in this game for Larson, and he'll get whistled for the offensive foul on that one, so that will give the basketball back to Algona. Tyler Mansky on the far side of the court, looks inside, then goes to his left to Helmers. Helmers along the baseline gets cut off and passes it back out to Mansky. Mansky whips a pass over to the right wing. A triple coming from Tristan Larson, and he finds the bottom of the net. Nice shot there, Tristan Larson. Quickly back the other way and laying it up and in is Blake Engvall. Well, among the areas where Estherville Lincoln Central has been good so far tonight, the transition game has certainly been one of them. A kick out to Tristan Larson. He'll try again from three. This one a little bit long, though, and Owen Larson rebounds. Larson up the court to Howard. Howard straight to the rack, and he scores. Estherville Lincoln Central just looks like the faster team right now, as now Tristan Larson was beyond the defense, cherry-picking beyond the court, and he has 7 points as he gets the lay-in. Vaughn shoots up a quick jumper, and he shoots an air ball. Algona comes out of it with Helmers. Now to Mansky, cuts across the lane, and Mansky gets fouled. I believe they'll probably get Jensen on that one. No, correction, they are going to get Owen Larson on the foul, so that'll be his third of the night. 83-51 the score right now. Bulldogs inbounded from the baseline. Up to the top of the key to Goshi. Goshi into the lane, and he goes strong to the hoop and puts it in. Garrett Goshi's had a good scoring night here. 83-51, heading to the basket, Owen Larson. And in case you forgot about him, he's got 33 points now as he gets the layup. Down to the baseline, Tristan Larson, turnaround jumper, and he buries it. Nice shooting start to the fourth quarter for Tristan Larson. That'll make it 85-53. 17 points for Blake Engvall, 33 for Owen Larson as he pulls on a deep heat check three, and he misses it a little bit long. Algona rebounds, Goshi attacks the bucket, and a foul that time will be whistled against the Midgets. So Goshi will head back to the charity stripe here with 5:42 on the clock to go in this one. Barring a miraculous comeback, Algona on their way to a season-opening loss as Owen Larson gets whistled here for foul number 4 on the night. Goshi puts the first one up, and he'll put it in, making it 85-54. They've got him for 15 points so far tonight. And Estherville Lincoln Central will check their starters out, likely for the last time, as they get a high five from the coach. If that is the last time, Owen Larson ends with 33 points here. Blake Engvall with 17, as some reserves now into the ball game. Goshi drains the foul shot. Coming up the court, it's Ryan Schiltz. He's still in the game. He'll be blocked from behind by Goshi. The follow-up, though, and Logan Nissen gets fouled. Nissen heads to the charity stripe here. Third foul of the night will be called against Jackson Cecil for Algona. As Nissen spins the first one up and he swishes it. That'll make it 86-55. Well, a game like this has been a long time coming for Estherville Lincoln Central. They've finished with 3 straight losing seasons, and 6 of their last 7 seasons have ended with more wins than losses, but this is going to be a definitive win here to start this season, again, barring a miraculous comeback from Algona. 87-55, 5:22 on the clock. Cecil working his way to the right now, heads back to the left, gives the handoff to Goshi. Goshi between his legs dribble, takes a 3, and he drains it! Nice job there, Garrett Goshi. Some slick ball handling and then elevating for the three-pointer, giving him 19 on the night. We're down to 5 minutes to go in this one. Schiltz goes up top to Love, now back to Schiltz. He's shadowed by Larson. Dumps the pass down inside to the block, and it goes through the hands of Nissen and into the hands of Cecil. Up the court to Tyler Mansky. Mansky attacks the glass off target on the layup, tips it back up low and tips it in. Nice job by Mansky. Took a full swing of the right arm that time and was able to follow it in. 17 points for the senior. 87-60 with 4:36 to go. A little dump off inside, and Nissen gets a travel called on him. That one looked like it was headed towards a foul, but Nissen could not set the feet, shuffled the shoes, and turns it over here to Algona with 4:22 and ticking left on the clock in this one. It'll be Helmers to handle the basketball for Algona as he comes across the timeline, guarded by Vaughn, takes 2 dribbles to the left, whips the pass over to Goshi. Goshi guarded by Love. Goshi into the lane, jump stopping, and he's fouled. They will call the foul on the floor. Well, Goshi's certainly giving Algona something to build on here in the second half. It might not result in the win, but Goshi has been very aggressive here in the second half, and he is making yet another trip to the foul line. And he's shown the versatility here tonight to take a couple contested three-pointers and make them, and get some really nice attacks with the basket as well. And he has looked very comfortable here, especially in the fourth quarter. But again, probably too little too late for Algona as they check some new players into the ball game. Tyler Mansky checks out. Carlos Gomez checks in. Reed Lawaji in as well for Algona as Jackson Cecil sits down. And Tristan Larson heads to the bench. And we will see Stren Crouch in the lineup as well for Algona. So 3 players out, 3 players in. And Goshi will have a foul shot here with 3:57 on the clock. 1-1 here. Goshi takes a couple dribbles with the right hand, spins the ball backwards, puts it up, and he swishes the first foul shot, so he'll get 1 more here. And the night from Goshi, and really the scoring night from Algona as a whole, is going to get lost just because of what happened defensively. But if Algona can be in that 60 to 70 point range, which they are right now, 62 as Goshi drains that second one, they're going to win quite a few games this season. Again, if they can get the defense back to the level it was last year. Algona last season allowed 54.5 points per game, a pretty solid mark, but 87 allowed here tonight. Handling the basketball, it's Alexander Sheridan in for the first time tonight, and Sheridan gets it poked away by Helmers. Helmers heading up the court, full head of steam, left-handed layup on the score. 87-64 with 3:39 to go as Helmers has his first 2 of the night. It's Sheridan again, this time gets by Helmers, goes to the bucket, lays it up and scores it. 89-64, Helmers with his first 2 of the season. Or Sheridan, that is, excuse me, is attacking the bucket. And getting fouled is Alex Mansky, who we are now seeing for the first time tonight. So Alex Mansky in his freshman season will attempt the foul shot here and try to get his first points of his high school career. Foul shot is up, and it bangs off to the right, no good. Well, Mansky, of course, got plenty of action on the football team this season. Both Manskys. As Alex Mansky spins up the foul shot, and there's his first point of many for his high school career. 89-65 now the score, 3:17 left in this one. Sheridan passes it into the near corner to Love. Love penetrating into the lane, misses on the point-blank shot. And now they're going to say Algona stepped out of bounds as they got the rebound. So ball will stay here of Estherville Lincoln Central with 3:06 left on the clock. Well, it's going to be a tough night here for both Bulldog teams as the girls lost earlier as well. Pass goes inside the Grant Love, and from the block on the far side, he's able to get the good layup. Nice inbounds play that time, got Love free, and it's 91-65. Helmers looking, dishing, finding the open man, but missing on the layup that time is Stren Crouch. 91-65. Back the other way, pulling up for a three-pointer, and leaving it short that time is Carson Grange. Algona runs the other way. Helmers dribbles behind the back, lost control, and can't track it down. Love picks it up for the Midgets. Coming back the other way now, Jordan Jensen gives it to Love, passes to the right to Sheridan, right wing. He'll shoot the contested three, and he'll leave it short. Sheridan falls and gets his own miss, floats and misses, and Mansky picks it up for Algona. Alex Mansky on the push, gets by the defense, blocked from behind, but a foul. Alex Mansky showed some good speed, trying to go coast to coast. And now he'll try to add a couple more points here. With 2:20 left in this one, 91-65. Well, plenty of time here for the Bulldogs to right the ship as they'll lose here in game number one as Mansky swishes that one. Algona also got off to a little bit of a slow start last year as well. They lost their first two games, but then won 8 out of 9, lost another 2, and then won another 8 out of 9 heading into the postseason. So this is certainly a team that last year showed they could win games in chunks, and will have to prove the same this year as Mansky leaves the second foul shot short. He'll split the pair, and a jump ball is going to be called here. 91-66, possession arrow towards Estherville Lincoln Central. And inbounding from the baseline will be Cale Miller. Bounces it into Sheridan, and we're rolling here with 2:18 to go. 91-66 the score right now. Sheridan heading towards his right, gives the basketball up to Grange. Grange kicks it out to a three-pointer, Luke Heinrichs, air ball. Mansky rebounds, goes up the court to Carlos Gomez coming from the far side. He'll attack the glass, layup long. Luwaji follows, no. Mansky on the offensive rebound, and he is fouled on the follow-up. So one way or the other, Alex Mansky continuing to find his way to the charity stripe here in the final part of this ball game. Algona's gotten everyone off the bench here tonight. Jordan Busher in right now as well, as Alex Mansky rattles off the first foul shot, no good. Well, 2 points so far tonight for the young freshman. Will try to split the pair for his third consecutive trip to the foul line, and he does just that, gets the second of 2. 91-67. Sheridan crosses over the timeline, 1:50 left in this one. Sheridan kicking, sidestepping now is Grange, goes inside Sheridan, and partially blocked that time is Miller. Outlet up the court, and Gomez tried to dunk it, but he couldn't quite get there, and he misses on that one. 1:35 to go, and that pass intercepted that time. Algona goes back the other way. It's Stren Crouch. Stren Crouch, a behind the back dribble just left of center. Now goes to Gomez on the right wing. Passes it to the left to Jordan Busher. Busher goes to the right to Luwaji. Pump fakes, gets inside, and gets blocked. 1:17 to go, and ball is picked up here by Luke Heinrichs. Tried to go up the court, and Gomez intercepts it. Bounce pass to Luwaji underneath the basket, and Luwaji has the easy layup that time as he shielded off the defenders with his body. Under 1 minute now to go in this one. Aaron Armstrong for Estherville Lincoln Central heads across the foul line. Bounces the basketball away. It's Miller. Miller shooting over Mansky on the free ball, and that's way long as Luwaji rebounds. 91-69, and now Luwaji's pass is intercepted. Tried to hit Mansky in transition, and Cale Miller took it away. Sheridan to the top of the key to Carson Grange. Free ball just a bit off target. 34 seconds left now. Mansky pushing the other way. Mansky laying it up, and Alex Mansky lays it in. First field goal of his career, and he has 5 points tonight. 91-71, and Algona making the final score a little bit more respectable here in the fourth quarter as they've gotten some of the reserves scoring. Sheridan at the logo, trying to dribble away the final 10 seconds in this one. Estherville Lincoln Central getting ready to win their first game of the season and start 1-0 once again. Final second ticks away, and that's it. 91-71 the final score. An offensive explosion as Owen Larson has 33 points, Blake Ingvall has 17, and the firepower for the Midgets. Too much for the Bulldogs to overcome here in the season opener, and plenty of things to work on going forward. We'll step aside for a timeout for about 2 minutes here, and we'll come back, look at some final stats coming up next right here on Home Country Radio.